This is the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station. So Union Station is over here in the downtown West neighborhood. Let me go through here. Mighty Mississippi and St. Louis, a perfect match. The addition of railways in the Union Station in the late 1800s established the growing city of St. Louis as an essential center for commerce and trade, and solidified St. Louis as the gateway to the West. So yes, they do have an aquarium here in St. Louis, over here at the Union Station. Check this out. They got a hotel, St. Louis Union Station Hotel. They even have a little pond right here. So it's a nice place to come bring the family, especially the little, you can bring the kids over here. They have like little, of course they have the aquarium here at the Union Station, but they also have a bunch of other attractions. They have little model trains and things of that nature to fit the Union Station theme right here. And you see they have the railroad cars right here. Very cool. They even have the merry-go-round over here. Well, that's St. Louis Union Station, and as I read on one of the markers over there in front of the aquarium, is St. Louis's location along the Mississippi River made it a very important center for commerce, in addition to being like located next to a having the railroads here. So St. Louis, again, you have the railroads and the river that make it essential in being the gateway to the West. They really did did a lot of development downtown St. Louis, because it is an old city. We're talking a city that was discovered or founded or whatnot back in the 18th century. So it's a lot of development, parks. They developed this Union Station, a very old building, among other things. You know, added new stadiums, as this one right here. This stadium over here was built in 2023, and it is the home, that stadium over there is the home of the St. Louis FC Major League Soccer team. So yes, St. Louis does have a Major League Soccer team, which was established back in 2019. It's a nice looking stadium from over here. Looks pretty. You could, you know, the way it's designed. And the name of the park, the name of the venue is called City Park. So again, it was part of that downtown West redevelopment that took place back in 2018, between like 2017, 2018, 2019. And there goes the outside of the historic Union Station right here. And I'm over here at this park right over here right by Union Station. Called Aloe Plaza. It's really nice, especially with all these fountains right here. Let's check that out. So a lot of the Roman and Greek statues. You see the fishes pushing out water. But this Aloe Plaza, along with Union Station, is located along a strip in the downtown West neighborhood known as the Gateway Mall. But this wraps up downtown St. Louis. I'm gonna get a couple more parts of the city and then I'm gonna proceed. The Stifle Theater. Okay, over there, that's the Soldiers Memorial Military Museum. St. Louis firefighters statue memorial. You got this whole park blocked off right here, as you can see. There goes the Vincent Amel Law Library, part of the St. Louis University. I'm in the Soulard Historic District of St. Louis. It is home to the legendary and historic Soulard Farmers Market. And this is the Soulard Farmers Market right here. Now, it is closed as of now, so I just wanted to come here just to get the footage of the site itself. But this is the farmers market. It is the oldest operating public market in St. Louis, and it's the only one that's operated by the city. It's also the oldest operated public market in the US that's west of the Mississippi River. So of course they have older farmers markets that are like out in Philadelphia and Boston, but this is the Soulard market, oldest market in the US west of the Mississippi. Now, aside from having the farmers market here, there's also an array of historic buildings that host an array of restaurants, cafes. There's a smokehouse over there across the street. Now, the district was named for Antoine Soulard and Julia Saray Soulard, both of French descent. And Soulard was a surveyor for the Spanish government and a refugee from the French Revolution in the 1790s. So Antoine, you know, basically surveyed the land right here. And he developed this land, which was given to him by his father-in-law, Jean Gabriel Saray. But there's quite a few historical buildings here. They also have a couple of churches. So there goes one of the churches over here. Wow, they got a few of the streets blocked off over here. Trinity Lutheran Church. A famous blues piano player also grew up in this neighborhood. His name is James Crutchfield. He played the piano. He also was a blues singer. So St. Louis also has huge ties to the blues music genre. So there's a lot of history of that here, as well as this cross-state counterpart, Kansas City. So there's a lot of bars in the Soulard district that have like live jazz music bands and blues bands. So it serves kind of like as a district for like to hang out, bars and restaurants and things of that nature, but it also serves as a residential area. Again, here's the front of the Soulard's Farmers Market. And this marker right here is dedicated to Rudy Piskulik. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. He was a sheriff here in St. Louis. Rudolph G. Piskulik, and he was on the Mardi Gras Inc. board of directors, and he's a native of Soulard, and that's him right there. Just a few sculptures right here, right in front of the farmers market. Yeah, that's different. But this is the Soulard district, St. Louis. So come check it out. It's on the south end of downtown, or south of downtown St. Louis, in its own historic neighborhood. This is the Anheuser-Busch Museum and Manufacturer. So this is the Busch plant right here. This is where they manufacture beers, or produce the beers, I should say. And this is where it all goes down. This is where the Budweisers are made. Budweiser company. I'm over here at the Delmar Loop district of St. Louis, or as the locals refer to it as simply the Loop. And I think I'm gonna refer to it the same way because the Loop just sounds much cooler. But Delmar Loop is the official name of this neighborhood. And they actually have a Loop trolley that operates from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and the rides are free. So Delmar Loop is pretty much a streetcar suburb of St. Louis, located in University City, which is where Washington University is located. Washington University is the major university here in the city of St. Louis. And it's mostly it's basically like a college hangout spot with a lot of mom and pop stores. So I would imagine a lot of the Washington University students frequent this area. It's a very popular location. And the main drag over in this area is called Delmar Boulevard. And aside from having the Delmar Loop, they also have a station here on the Metro Link Red Line. I wanted to stop and get this nice mural right here of the legendary Dr. Maya Angelou. And it reads, "If you are always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be." And those are words of wisdom by the late great Dr. Maya Angelou. Beautiful, colorful mural. And here is the social media tag at C Baby is the author, the artist of this mural. That's really nice. They have a theater right here. It's called the Tivoli. Looks like the So not only do they have shops and restaurants, they have a theater right here as well. One of those old school theaters. Baked tees. So they make t-shirts over there. They have a couple of clothing stores over here. Yeah. What's going on with it, man? Oh, okay, I got you. So I see a nice little area right here. And as I was walking, I forgot to mention this, but I noticed that they have stars right here, kind of like it's basically like a St. Louis Walk of Fame, or at least their version of the Walk of Fame, similar to that of Hollywood. And this is of a star of Tennessee Williams, who was a 19th century playwright. Howard Nemerov, a Harvard grad and a law professor. And there goes Stan the Man Musial. He has his own star here. We saw him earlier at the Busch Stadium. Bob Costas, legendary radio broadcaster. They go Chuck Berry, the father of rock and roll, got his own star here. And this is also a popular place right here. It's called Blueberry Hill. It's a little restaurant. Let me go ahead and cross over here. It's at the corner of Melville and Delmar. So I believe Blueberry Hill is more than just a restaurant. I believe it's like a kind of like an event. Like I think they have like a dart hall. They got cocktails, all those type of different things. This is neat right here. So here's the father of rock and roll himself. This is a statue of the legendary Chuck Berry. Him strumming that guitar. Got his guitar pick right over here. And this is a marker that just gives a chronological display of the history of Chuck Berry. And he was born right here in St. Louis, October 18th, 1926. He was actually born Charles Edward Anderson to Henry and Martha Berry in St. Louis, Missouri. And he first started performing in 1941 while he was in high school. He attended Sumner High School right in St. Louis. And he also performed in the 1960s. He was real big in the 1960s during the psychedelic era. And he was backed by the Steve Miller Band, another popular band in the 60s. And he was dubbed the father of rock and roll during the 1950s. And one of his famous songs is Johnny Be Good, but he also had a slew of other signature rock songs such as Roll Over Beethoven, rock and roll music, and And there he goes. He was inducted in '84 into the Grammy Hall of Fame, and he received a Lifetime Achievement Award during the '84 Grammy Awards. So there he is right there in the 21st century. So there goes the legendary Chuck Berry. He also starred as himself in the movie American Hot Wax, a biography of rock and roll DJ Alan Freed. So Alan Freed was he was a disc jockey during the heyday of rock and roll, or in the early days of rock and roll. So again, there goes Mr. Chuck Berry, beautiful statue. And this is just a little walkway called Ackerd Walkway. It's a little root beer spot right here. They have some apartments down here as well. They have a vinyl shop across the street. So, just as I suspected, Delmar Loop is a really chill hangout spot. Turn back around and make my way back down Delmar Loop. Had to come over here get this mural.
How you doing, my brother?
Good, man. How about yourself? Yes, sir. Hey, man, that's all we can do, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All the time. Yeah, that's what it's all for, man. So, you have yourself a good day, though, brother. What's up? Yeah, I like this mural right here. I don't know what this is. It's like a smiling face right here. The green and I don't know what this is. It's like a deer. It's just like a bunch of interesting paintings right here. It's like a brother right here holding a saxophone. And by the way, this is all on the side of the little vinyl shop. Here's Chuck Berry right here. think the name of this mural is called English, featuring Ian the Painter. So Ian the Painter is actually the one who put this mural together, and it's really nice. I'm gonna go down to the end because there's more to it. And I like this one right here as well. Beautiful sister. Ian the Painter did a bang up job with this mural right here at the Delmar Loop. Found my boy Red Fox, his star right here on the St. Louis Walk of Fame. Of course, Red Fox was a comedian from back in the day, and he was most popular for his role as Fred Sanford in the popular comedy series Sanford and Son. So he was born in St. Louis, but he left home at the age of 16 to join a New York street band, and he adopted his name Red for his complexion, and he also adopted a baseball star's name to become Red Fox. And it wasn't until the 40s where he honed his comic skills in a multitude of nightclubs back in the day. So that's your boy Red Fox. Red Fox is one of my favorite comedians of all time, and Sanford and Son is one of my favorite sitcoms of all time. So it was pretty cool coming down on the loop and catching that star on the St. Louis Walk of Fame of Red Fox. But that wraps it up for the Delmar Loop. I got one more stop here in the Lou before I move on to my next destination. History Museum right here. On the site of Forest Park. I'm over here on the grounds of Forest Park in St. Louis, and Forest Park is the largest city park in St. Louis, and it is where the 1904 World's Fair took place. And St. Louis being the first city in America to host the Summer Olympics, Forest Park played a huge part in hosting the events of those Olympics, as well as the Louisiana Purchase Exposition of 1904. But right here, one of the monuments on Forest Park is the Missouri History Museum. You can see right here in this historical building with the fountains in the front. And I like this right here. It's the I Love St. Louis in the purple lettering. Oh, that's dope. I know a lot of people stop over here and take pictures in front of those letters. It's pretty cool. But Forest Park is right around Washington University. Washington University itself was founded in 1853 and named after George Washington, the alleged first president of the United States. And basically, I'm over here on the part of the park where there is there's a golf course actually over this area, but also on the grounds of Forest Park there's a St. Louis Art Museum, the St. Louis Science Center, and the St. Louis Zoo. So the St. Louis or the Missouri History Museum isn't the only attraction that's located on Forest Park. So this is the golf course right here. Of course, I'm not going to go too far on there, but I just wanted to go ahead and wrap things up right here in St. Louis. And if you made it this far, then thank you guys so much for watching this video. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. That being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have yourselves a great day and peace out.